Welcome to UXI 25 conference, and today we have with us Mr. Sankalp Sinha, who is the founder of NextDoorCompany. Well, we are so pleased to have you here.
Same here. Lovely to be here. Yeah.
How was your experience in the conference till now?
So far, so good. I think there's a good lineup of people coming up here from healthcare, from banking, and all of this is converging into how does the design landscape looks like in the next few years with AI. So it's good to hear. You can always, I am building my own startup, but it's always good to hear how others are adopting AI in their own industries. Yeah.
So true. So how did you choose design as your career?
So my mom paints, my father writes. So I think it was in the family, but I was interested in designing cars in school.
That's great.
But then I opted in for automotive engineering, which was a bad choice. But then in the college I did not study much. I played football and just did design, played around with Photoshop and whatnot. And then I think that put me in a trajectory career of design generally. Yeah.
That's like crazy. I actually really love that story. We don't really learn anything in college anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. And most of the friends most of my design friends who are CXOs or leaders in other orgs, they all are self-taught. I don't think degrees are doing any justice, but I think college is a good experience. You should not bunk college. Udao paise and have fun with that money. Yeah.
Okay. So how did you took the decision that I want to leave my job and I want to start my own thing?
Yeah, so I have I've been mostly doing 0 to 1 with founders and startups. I've been doing this for 13 years. And one thing, I went fully remote in 2018 with a US company. And there I figured that if I have to be truly remote, I have to adopt other principles of financial freedom if I have to be truly remote. So that gave me the idea of actually saving a good runway for a year, basically just doing the financial thing. And since then I've saved almost always a year's runway of whatever my living cost is. So I've done a sabbatical before 3 years ago. I've left my job, taken a 1-year break. So that gave me a boost that I can actually break from the career ladder and jump out, do anything, and then go back again. And after joining another startup, which was Lightspeed backed, I did again 3 years with them. And then after doing multiple 0 to 1s, I was like, I've done enough 0 to 1s to gain the experience and let's take a bet on myself. And again, I had the runway. So I'm giving myself 1 more year to just figure out some of my own startups.
So if students who want to be entrepreneurs wants to get into developing their own ideas, so what advice do you have? They should join immediately or have a financial backup ready?
I think the young folks today should not start a startup immediately because there are tons of things you should learn before you start a startup, like how to validate an idea, how to build the idea, what is the minimum viable product that you need to build, who are your users, are you good enough as a person or as a team to go and sell this. We just think that the motivation is good enough, but more often than not, motivation is just enough to get you started, but there are many hurdles to starting a company and making a product even make its first dollar. So I highly recommend anybody to join a startup, learn the ropes probably a year or 2 at minimum, and then go figure out what they want to do. There's a famous quote by, I think, Paul Graham or I think Sam Altman, I forgot, but mostly from Y Combinator, that they say ki if you don't do it in reverse, you don't start a startup and then figure out a product. If you have an idea on this side, figure out a product. If it works, go talk to users. If the product has merit, it will become a startup. Most people do it. You may have heard startup is the new guitar. So yeah. So hence the 99% failure rate of startups.
That's so true. Yes. So how do you recommend, how should we make that MVP? What should it include?
In what sense?
Like, what is a definition of a successful MVP in your mind?
Anything that gets the job done. So for example, let's say you want to, we were talking about your idea of camera keeping women's safety in check, right? So what is the bare minimum you have to get to market to validate it? I would say for it's not about hardware, it's going to be software and adoption. Adoption is a big question. So if I were you, I would create a very minimal software which reads camera data, and if there is, let's say, something happening in the camera feed that it's able to recognize, it's a disharm, it's hurting the woman in the camera feed, can it flag it? If yes, then the person or the institution or the company installed it. Are they willing to install it? If yes, then the next question becomes, if they are installing it, are they feeling good about the value they are getting? If yes, you cross that question, then will they pay for it? So I would break this into 4 questions. Am I capable, or my team is capable to build this software? Can I go and sell this? Can I get it installed in the companies or institution? Can I charge them money for? And once I've charged the money for, do they see value in it? If they see value, will they become a recurring customer? I would not go ahead and do the blockchain thing. That is very remove as much hypothesis as you can, solve one hypothesis at one time. That's the MVP in
That's
startup.
so helpful.
Yeah.
Really helpful. So about your product, like how did you pinpoint the pain points and like started with it?
Yeah, so I've been a candidate myself. I have hunted jobs for many years, and the job market is very scattered even
True,
today. If you want to go and figure out a job, first of all, you would want something nearby you. Where do you live?
In Bhopal.
In Bhopal. So if you want to live in close to your hometown, LinkedIn is very shitty in terms of giving you
Very
the
true.
right filters ki Bhopal mein which companies are good, high paying, and let's say in this category. Once you figured out a company, then the other problem is you have to know the company health, how much funding they have, how much revenue they have. So you would go to Traction or Crunchbase to get this data. Then you would go to Blind or Grapevine to figure out what the company culture. Glassdoor is another. So you basically do a charade of 10 plus platforms to even know a basic information about a company, which I think should be condensed into a single platform, which is what NextDoorCompany is.
So when are you launching it? We are so excited to use it.
I have released a pre-sale early access beta. So anyone who's signing up using the pre-sale access, early access, they are getting the access in 2 weeks. I'm purposely keeping it closed for now in beta. As I said, I am validating all the hypotheses and not opening the can of worms of, let's say I open somebody who has never looked for a job and they use the platform. Of course, that's not the right fit. So again, to validate any startup's idea, you have to figure out who's the right, you have to hire your user. First 10 hire is very important. So I'm just doing a very close beta round for now. Yeah. It's live, it's there. Yeah.
So the next question, let's move forward. That if a startup founder wants to raise funding, so what is your advice?
My advice is to not raise funding unless you know how you're going to use that money. I've been in enough VC funded startups leading design. All I've seen is there are good founders who have figured out what market they want to build in, what product is, and then they take VC money, and that basically propels the product and the market. Think VC money as the catalyst to your formula. If you do not have a formula, VC money is not going to do anything. And I think early stage founders are unnecessarily running after VC money, wherein they should be focusing on validating their business. I think it's the curse of Silicon Valley and Bangalore that everybody thinks, again, startup is the new guitar and VC money is also the new guitar. Everybody thinks that raising VC money is a success fund. It comes with a lot of pressure. So unless even I'm doing the same for my companies, unless I know what works, I'll not go for a VC round. May probably not ever go for a VC round if the business works out.
So that is so helpful. I'll be implementing it for myself also. That those advices are very helpful. So apart from that,
Yeah.
can you give like a short about how you'll be implementing that in your talk?
In my talk, yeah, so it's about design entrepreneurship, right? I'm The talk itself is about why designers should get out of their pixel perfection charade day in day out, and market is moving. I think we have heard talks from Donald Mariam that AI is going to be brute forced into your into your workplace, whether you like it or not. So, and for designers, if there we have seen a pattern with AI. There is a career progression, being a design leadership, or you become a design entrepreneur. So to become a design entrepreneur, we're going to be talking about what are the key principles that you have to bear in mind to become a design entrepreneur. It has largely to do with, without giving too much detail on this, it's largely has to do with not being a designer, but thinking about the business and the users first. Yeah.
Those were really helpful.
Yeah.
So let's wrap it up with
Yes.
a quick rapid round session.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
Okay. So describe yourself in one word.
Mischievous.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So what's one book or movie that you would recommend?
What fun?
A book or movie that you would recommend?
Movie. I saw F1. F1 is great. People should watch F1. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you love about UX India?
UX India, I think the general energy and general sense of people to learn, keep learning about what's happening in design in India, that hasn't gotten down. So that's good to see.
Yeah. And what's your best part about your day? Your work day.
My work day, when I take the nap at 3 p.m. Yeah,
Okay.
in my couch. Yeah.
So if not for design, what other field would you like?
Probably automotive engineering. Yeah.
Okay.
Build bikes or something. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
It was really nice
Absolutely.
talking to you.
Absolutely. Lovely.